Hi, it's Kathy from Bishopstone Yarns, and I'd like to welcome you all here to episode 22 of the Bishopstone Yarns podcast. And today this is a sit and spin podcast. Usually what I do is one week is more of a knitting podcast, the next week I do a bit of a spinning one. So this is my mainly spinning podcast. And as I said, I'm Kathy, and this is the Bishopstone Yarns podcast. I'm coming to you from Tasmania, which is the little island at the south of Australia. And this is the corner of my studio. And as I said, I've got my wheel here. This is my Major Craft Rose, which I'm going to be spinning on today. And today is actually Sunday, but I'll put this out on Monday, July the 11th. And of course, then we are in the middle of, almost to the middle of Tour de Fleece, which for those people who are on Ravelry may have come across it. For those people who haven't heard of Tour de Fleece, it is it's kind of an online spinning event that happens. It coincides with the Tour de France, which is the cycling race, which this year started in Denmark, then has been in Belgium, and then will be going around France. And so what they're doing is Ravelry, which is the online kind of website for one of the big, huge online knitting websites. They run a thing called Tour de Fleece. So those people who are spinners can spin along with the Tour de France. So from the 1st until the 24th of July, those who are participating are spinning each day and setting like maybe a little goal for themselves. And for those days that are like hilly days during the race, they will be doing little challenges for themselves. But a little bit more about that a little later on. But to start with, I'll let you know where you can find me on the internet. You can find me as Bishopstone Yarns on Facebook. You can find me as Bishopstone Yarns on Instagram. And on Ravelry, you can find me as Bishopstone. And I also have a blog called Bishopstone Yarns on Blogger, which I don't use all that often. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But they're the places where you can find me on the internet. And so saying today, so I'm actually today is actually Sunday, but this will be going out, of course, on Monday. And because Monday for the Tour de Fleece is a rest day, and I thought for my rest day I will just be carding up lots and lots of bats, like these bats over here. So what I am doing is I'm spinning a mix of alpaca and wool, which I hope to spin up enough that I can then make into or have enough spun up so I can knit up the Birkin by Caitlin Hunter. And so what I have started doing is, of course, taking, I've got a brown wool fleece and a white alpaca fleece, and I've been using my drum carder to card those together. What I've decided to do is, instead of running it through the drum carder 4 or 5 times, I've decided that I will kind of card one bat of the brown wool, and then I'll card one bat of the white alpaca. I'll blend them once through the drum carder, either once or twice through the drum carder, and then I will take the bat, which is like this. As you can see, it's not particularly well, it's not carded particularly well together. You can still see definitely where the white and the brown is. And then what I'm deciding to do is, to take that bat then take my hand carders and then I'm going to card some of this up through the hand carders and spin it as I go, so little by little, because I was finding that when I'm wanting to spin, if I run out of the big bats, then I've got to go and spend a large portion of time doing the bats, because they take quite a while. By the number of times you go through the drum carder to get them carded enough that I'm ready to spin them, it seems to be taking a long time. I'm sure doing it this way, I mean, this way does take a long time as well, but for some reason it doesn't seem to be quite as long or as laborious as when I'm just doing a little bit at a time and then being able to spin it straight away. So then I do have a bit of a change, so I can card some, spin some, card some, spin some, which seems to work okay. So that's probably what I'll do now, is I'll just card some of this up, and then we can go back into doing some spinning and some chatting. Hi. Well, now that I have carded up a few of these little mini bats, I can start spinning again. And yeah, I haven't really been doing much else apart from spinning and carding and spinning. It's been taking a lot longer than I thought to be able to card. It takes a lot. Well, the carding itself has taken a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought I would have had more time to be spinning during the Tour de Fleece that I have, because half of, well, it feels like half of my time has been taken up with the carding. And that's why, one of the reasons why I decided to change from just doing the drum carder to using the hand carders as well. And so now I've kind of got into a bit of a rhythm, I think, of the spinning, carding, and the bobbins for the major craft. They are quite they're quite large bobbins, especially compared to some of the older spinning wheels around. Some of those tend to have a lot smaller bobbins, and therefore the major craft bobbin does take a little bit longer to fill up, and it takes a little bit longer then before I can actually get round to applying. So it has taken me, as I was saying, 10 days of spinning to get to the point where I could start my applying and get my 2 skeins of plied yarn. I am aiming for about a 5 ply, which is like a sport weight for my jumper. So I think I'm pretty well much on track for that. But if I was spinning something a bit thicker, then of course the bobbin would be filling up a lot quicker than it is. But with a 5 ply, yeah, it does seem to take quite a long time to fill up this major craft bobbin, which does mean as well that while I've been really enjoying looking at what everyone else has been doing, I've been enjoying looking at Facebook and Instagram and on Ravelry as well, at all the pictures of what everyone else has been spinning up and making. And some people have been spinning up some of the most colourful and gorgeous yarns. And it's been lovely to see everyone's work. And here I am sitting here with my brown and white day after day. Just seems to be the photos, each day's photo that I've been sharing just seems to be more of the same. Everything just looks very much the same. Sometimes just a little bit more of the same on the bobbin than what I had the previous day. It's definitely not a very exciting or enthralling spin in terms of colour. It's but on the same side, I'm really happy that the Tour de Fleece is happening now, and that I'm using it as to help me get through this project, so that you know, I'm forced to spin and card the wool and the alpaca, and I'm forced to, you know, spin every day on it, and then hopefully that means that I'll end up with my jumper load of yarn at the end, and then that means I'll be able to start knitting the Birkin sooner than if Tour de Fleece hadn't been here. I think I would have quite easily become quite distracted with my spinning, and maybe you know, started spinning something a bit more colourful or something a little bit different, and then put this to the side. And then I think we all know what happens once we put a bit of spinning or something that we're working on to the side, because we're not quite as interested in it. It can sit there sometimes for a very long time. So I am really happy with the Tour de Fleece that it has made me sit down and work my way through this. I think the last time I did Tour de Fleece, I was working on a brown fleece as well. I was actually working my way through an entire brown fleece, and yes, so that was a good thing as well, because it forced me into getting, you know, working my way through the brown fleece. I find during the rest of the year I don't have any problem at all working my way through my colourful spins and or things that I've hand dyed myself. It's just the large amounts of brown spinning. I feel like I need a little bit of incentive with a little bit of extra help to get through it. So hopefully by the end I will have, well, I'm really looking forward to starting the jumper. I quite like the yarn. The yarn that I'm creating here is really nice. It's very soft, and I still haven't decided what colour I might dye it. With all this time spent spinning, I have spent a lot of time thinking about what kind of colour I'm going to dye the main part of the body, but I haven't really decided. I haven't come up to a major decision yet on what colour I'll actually end up using. But yes, that's really just been my spinning journey so far, and we've got another 2 weeks of the Tour de Fleece. So it doesn't finish until the 24th of July. So this is going to be my spinning life for the next 2 weeks, is carding up more bats, spinning more bats, spinning more brown, thinking about what colour I'm going to dye the brown. And actually I'll be quite interested to see at the end of the next 2 weeks, probably the next time I do a spinning podcast, it'll be really interesting to see how much yarn I have at the end of this project, and hopefully how far through the fleeces as well. I'll be able to show you a photo as well at the end of this, whether or not I have got myself all the way through the brown, the wool fleece. I don't think I will end up getting my, I won't have used all of the alpaca, because of course the alpaca is a lot lighter, there's a lot more of it, and I'm not using as much of the fleece as I am of the wool. So I've already started thinking about what I can use the rest of the white alpaca for, and been thinking about spinning that up. And of course I'm still thinking about the Danish shawl that I want to start knitting out of my hand spun as well. And so I'm just working on some socks at the moment, so I just want to finish those socks, and then I want to start knitting the Danish shawl. And so I have to have a little look around and decide what colour hand spun yarn I'm going to use for that. And but at the moment it's a lot of spinning and not much else actually going on here. And yeah, so not a lot else to talk about really, apart from this brown spinning and carding. For those people who are doing Tour de Fleece, I wonder what you're spinning. I wonder what exciting colours and projects you've got on the go. And I'd love to hear about what everyone else is making and doing. So feel free to leave a comment, and I'd love to hear what everyone else is making and doing. And if you like this video, even though it's a bit of a quick and purely Tour de Fleece little video, if you like it, give it press the like button, little thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, it'd be great if you could subscribe, because that helps me out here and helps other people find this video as well. And I will sit here and think as I spin away. I will imagine that I'm sitting here with all my spinning friends. We're all here together doing the Tour de Fleece, and hopefully next year I will be able to spin something really nice and bright and colourful. That might be my challenge for next year, is to do something really, really bright and interesting for Tour de Fleece. And hopefully it won't be another little brown spinning. Once I get through this brown fleece, I think I've only got half of another brown fleece, and that is the end of my brown fleeces that I have at the moment. And I don't have plans on buying any more brown fleeces, so I suppose in that way I should just enjoy the fact that I am spinning a brown fleece, because there won't be a huge number of brown fleeces, hopefully, that I will be spinning in the future. And I know some people love brown and they love spinning brown, but it's not really my favourite colour, as I say, as I sit here in a brown jumper. But yes, well, I will keep spinning. I will keep carding and spinning and carding and spinning. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining me and for watching the video. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. I hope you found some time here for a little bit of crafting time. And next time, next time I'll have a slightly longer and more interesting spinning episode, I hope. Okay, bye.